One of the reasons Crimson Desert gets better and better is the progression in game. This is one of the very few games wherein the skill tree is an actual skill tree. It's not filled with 10% strength and stamina boost. It's filled with the coolest moves that makes progressing a treat. The game plays very differently in the beginning compared to mid-game, and by the end it's straight sorcery. All that is mostly because of the skills you learn. I haven't gotten to that point yet, but looking at people who have, I cannot wait. But even by mid-game, it's no longer a battle of swords or weapons, it's all the other. Even enemies change genres and start shooting at you with tasers and God knows what. Pearl Abyss clearly prioritized quantity, map size, the insane number of gameplay mechanics, the long main campaign, the sheer amount of content in this game. They value quantity for sure. Sometimes it doesn't work. There are lots of gameplay elements, but some of them are shallow. Prioritizing quantity does have its downsides, but when it comes to combat, that approach works. There are so many things to try out, there's so much freedom. You can play it like a hack and slash, you can never dirty your sword and just grapple, or if you've progressed enough, Axiom Force is pretty much enough. And this isn't even counting all the creative ways you can finish off enemies. Combat in Crimson Desert was great when I started, and now about 50 hours in, it is the best part, no doubt. Maybe exploration is the best part, but let me tell you, I am never disappointed when I come across huge groups of enemies. These lizards are annoying because it turns into a hack and slash for a while, but human enemies, they are the best. There's room for experimentation, and the best thing is, whatever you can think of, the game lets you do. In other games, something obvious won't work just because it's not a gameplay element, but here there are pretty much no limits. Combine that with 1,000 gameplay mechanics and a skill tree that gives you so much freedom, this can be played any way you like after the first 20 hours. The difference between the first 20 hours and everything after is night and day. It doesn't even feel like the same game. When you're in Hernand, it feels like a basic medieval fantasy. Fantasy elements are kept to a minimum, except for giants walking around. But once you get to the Crimson Desert, it's sci-fi, it's high fantasy. The wackiest things you can think of, you will find. This feels like a world made for a fantasy novel. The lore and just the number of mind-blowing things in-game is insane. Only after getting to this point did I realize why they had problems with controls. There are so many moves for combat alone, they ran out of keys on a controller, plain and simple. As you progress, you'll find some moves work only when chained with other moves, and I think that is because they ran out of keys. The base game itself was always gonna be more enjoyable in the second half. These patches have made the first 20 hours okay as well. Combat is so much snappier than it was on day one. It's responsive, blocks and parries were unpredictable in the first 2 weeks, but not anymore. That lag is gone. I don't know if it was a technical issue, input lag or something, or if that was by design. But Cliff feels way easier to control, and thank God, because there's already so much to remember and execute, and you have to get the timing right. That lag was frustrating and getting in the way a lot. I've been learning new things every time I open this game. You don't need to button mash at all. You can hold down light or heavy attack and that is enough. I still feel there's a lot to master, and that is exciting because combat as a whole is pretty easy now. Bosses are sometimes hard, but the level of challenge is almost non-existent. If there weren't any new things to learn, I would probably start losing interest by now, but thankfully that is not the case. To think that I almost stopped playing the game after the first few hours Man, what a big mistake that would have been. The world opens up and it is a big part of my enjoyment, but the combat and the crazy moves I try to pull off have made this such a fun experience so far. I'm not even in the second half of the game, I don't think, but if this keeps getting better and better at this rate, this will end up my favorite game in the recent past. I have unlocked almost all of the skills, so there is very little to look forward to in that regard, but the open world is so unique and so creative, I don't think I will stop exploring anytime soon. I still don't like the mission structure in the main story, so most of my time is spent exploring this world and clearing bandit camps. Sounds pretty repetitive, right? But no, this game does exploration and combat better than most and in a very different way as well. If you want to see Crimson Desert compared with a recent masterpiece, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, click the video on screen. Subscribe if you enjoyed this one. I am sure you will enjoy future videos as well. Thanks for watching and have a great day wherever you are.